Welcome to Lessons in Life and Love with Rihanna Milne, where we show you how to have the positive mindset for success in all life areas. It's time to have the life you desire and the love you deserve.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 2, Show 46 of the Lessons in Life and Love podcast. I am your host and global life and love coach and trauma specialist, Rihanna Milne, coming to you every Friday on the Lessons in Life and Love website and on the global app, Lessons in Life and Love on the go. I'm all about transforming your life in all areas, to helping you to create that life that you desire and to have the love that you deserve. So you'll learn how to have emotionally healthy, evolved, and conscious relationships and avoid toxic, painful ones that seem too prevalent today. If you have a personal concern, be sure to reach out during the week on my website, RihannaMilne.com, and sign up for a personal and private life and love transformation discovery session. Let's dive in, love angels and transformers. Today we have a very special guest, my podcast business mentor, Lee Dumas, host of Entrepreneur on Fire podcast. Make sure you check out all his great shows on EOFire.com. Some of the topics we're going to be covering is how do you develop the mindset for success when you're starting your own business? 2, how does it work out when you and your love partner are running a business together? JLD may have some tips on that. And 3, how did he overcome some childhood trauma and disbelief when he wanted to start up a podcast? How did he create a podcast that has over 1 million downloads per month, generates over 7 figures in revenue, and is the top award-winning podcast for business? Let's see what JLD has to say. Hey, everybody. Welcome, John, to the show. How are you, John?
Hey, I'm fired up to be here, Rihanna. Let's do this.
Okay, let me tell you about this amazing man right in front of me, Lee Dumas. John is the host of Entrepreneur on Fire, an award-winning podcast where he interviews inspiring entrepreneurs who are truly on fire with over 2,000 episodes, 1 million plus listeners per month, and 7 figures of annual revenue. JLD is just getting started. Visit EOFire.com to set your entrepreneurial journey on fire. And he is too. He's an amazing man, and I'm very blessed to have him as one of my business mentors and my podcast coach. So, John, thank you for sharing your time with us today. Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I know you interview tons of business professionals. What would be your best advice in having the mindset for success? How does one develop that?
So you need to do things like you're doing right now. And by you, I mean everybody that's watching and listening to this. You are educating yourself. You're learning from others. You are finding people who are currently where you want to be in this world, and you're learning from them. I mean, I go back to 2010, 2011, when I was building the concept for my business, reading all the business books, listening to audiobooks, consuming podcasts at such a high level. That gave me the foundation, the knowledge, and the desire and the aha moments to launch my business, my podcast, Entrepreneurs on Fire, which now has turned into this multi-million-dollar a year business. But it all came from that initial foundation. So that's critical. And then as you're kind of going through and building, your knowledge base by consuming content like this and just everything else that's out there at your fingertips in this world, you're realizing that it's going to take 3 things to really achieve the kind of success that you want to achieve. If you want that lifestyle freedom, if you want that location freedom, if you want that financial freedom, you have to be disciplined. And by disciplined, you have to be a disciple to a plan of action. That means create a plan and then execute. I mean, Rihanna, you're talking to an officer in the U.S. Army. I was a combat veteran, spent 13 months in Iraq in charge of 4 tanks, 16 men. And I'm telling you, the only reason I'm standing here in front of you today, alive, surviving 13 months in a war, is because I had to be disciplined to a plan of action and then execute on that. And I just took those skills and I applied them to the entrepreneurial world. And number 2, you have to be productive. Now, Rihanna, there's so many people that are running around and they're busy. They're producing a ton of content, but guess what? They're producing the wrong content. Productivity means you're producing the right content. That's why my focus is
between right and
my
wrong.
podcast, Entrepreneurs on Fire. That's why I'm on this show right here. This is producing the right content. That is why I am on this show. That's why I do what I do. That's why my Instagram stories go live every single day with a 1-minute video and 1-minute inspiration, because that's the right content. And then number 3, you have to be focused. Following one course until success. In courses, not going a mile wide and an inch deep. 1 inch wide, 1 mile deep. Become the best in that vertical, and that's where you can win.
That makes so much sense. It's so true. I teach goal setting as well. And the day is productive every day. I just say, wake up with the 3 goals you must do before the end of the day. And it's important to look back too. What did I achieve today? What can I feel good about? What can I feel proud about? It helps the momentum keep going. I know we all get caught in the grind sometimes, but it does take patience and discipline. Nobody becomes a superstar overnight.
It's true. And listen, if you're finding yourself getting caught in the grind, that's why it's so important to have some self-care time every single day, to step back. I take a 3-mile walk every morning. I do deep thinking there. I come back, I meditate, I journal. That makes sure that even though every single day I'm grinding on some levels, I'm aware of what I'm grinding on. And so when I step back and I'm meditating, I'm journaling, and I'm going for that walk and I'm thinking, I know that I'm doing the right things. I know that I'm working on the right projects, because so many people are just head down, a million miles an hour right now. And then they look up months, years later, and they're like, oh my God, I was heading in the wrong direction. I was producing the wrong content. And that hurts, because time is your biggest asset.
True. So true. And I love that power walk in the morning. We all do meditate, my listeners, every day. And I said, it's 15 minutes. No excuse why you can't get that done. No excuse. Okay. Now, you know my topic pretty well. You know that I work with those that have had childhood or love trauma, and that the research shows close to 90% of people have trauma when they analyze their lives. So did you have some of that childhood trauma? And if so, how did you overcome self-doubt and maybe the naysayers early on when you said, I'm going to do a podcast show? Did they say, go get a 9-to-5 job? How did you fight the doubters of the world?
Yeah, if I look back over my journey, I mean, I had a very healthy childhood for all intents and purposes. Of course, far from perfect. I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect childhood, but it was very structured. It was very strong. And, you know, I definitely had loving parents and grandparents. But at the same time, if I was to really, you know, talk about the first thing that comes to mind when you bring up that question, it would be, you know, there was a lot of friction between one of my grandmothers and essentially my best friends, like meaning people that I was spending a lot of time with, because there was just a lot of jealousy. Like, you know, she was really jealous of the time that I was spending with my friends was taking away from the time that she and I had. Because, you know, like when I was 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, like she was spending so much time with me, and it was just me and it was just her. And it's like, you know, she treasured that understandably. But then when I turned like 7, 8, 9, 10, and started getting friends and wanting to hang out with them instead of my grandmother, you know, like I didn't understand that, you know, there was anything wrong with that. And so I didn't know how to balance what was right and what was wrong. But, you know, and she really kind of put me in these situations I didn't really understand. And so I think there's a lot of stress and anxiety and not understanding, and, you know, a lot of just putting me in difficult situations that I wasn't old enough to really understand, that really was difficult for me. And, you know, it took me, you know, decades to probably properly process and even understand. Like, you know, it wasn't until I was probably in my 20s looking back that I even understood what was really going on in those scenarios. So, you know, that would be the kind of thing that I would go to there. So yeah, I mean, I think 90% is probably even low. I mean, I think pretty much, you know, being a human being ensures you're going to encounter some form of trauma throughout your life. Right. You know, throughout the, you know, people that love you and you love them, like there's going to be some trauma there, because, you know, to err is human, and we're humans, and we're always making mistakes. We're always doing something here, doing something there. So that's why I think, you know, being able to be thoughtful and to have, you know, people like yourself who specialize in these things and just really surrounding us full that have been through similar things but have come out on the other side is critical to success.
For sure, because a lot of adults have low trust in themselves, low self-confidence that they haven't gotten rid of. They're afraid to take that big leap, even when it might need an investment of investing in coaches. They're like, I don't think I can do it, you know, and then they just stop themselves and they never get to the level that they want to. And I'm always saying, I've always had a coach. Every year there's a new coach, somebody else taking me to the next level, which I think is so important. And you've been vital in that. Let's go talk a little bit about love. Now, I adore your partner, Kate. You two have been together a long time, and you're great as a love couple, and you're also business partners. What are some tips that you have for partners in love and in business?
Well, I'll take that as a combination. So if you're in love and in business together, there's some things I think that are really important. Number one, you've really got to start that business relationship side of things with a clear understanding of what roles the two of you are going to play in that business. So from day one, when Kate left her job to join Entrepreneurs on Fire, we sat down and we were very clear on like, hey, this is my lane. This is my role. This is where I excel. This is why I think you'll make a great addition to the team, Kate, because these are the strengths that I see that you have that I don't have, where, areas that I'm weak, you're strong. So you stay in your lane here and let's both focus and drive forward, together yet separately. So, Kate, her office is right through this wall. She's there right now. I know that she's going to be speaking with you soon, on the show as well. And the thing is that there will be an entire workday that goes by that Kate and I don't even exchange a word because, I'm here in my office creating my content, producing what I need to produce for my brands, for Entrepreneurs on Fire, for this. And she's doing her thing on the side of the business with the systems, with the automations, with the details, with the organization. We'll go back and forth throughout the day because she's doing her thing, I'm doing my thing. But at the end of the day, we come together and we talk about what happened on the workday. And then we communicate. We talk about how things could be better or how we can improve this or improve that. But then we cut it off and we say, okay, you know what? 6 p.m., let's enjoy a nice dinner. Let's play a game of cribbage. Let's play a game of cards. Let's have a glass of wine. Let's sit down. Let's enjoy one of our favorite shows together, which right now is Handmaid's Tale. And let's just enjoy the evening, as partners in love, because, we can't just always be talking only about business. Like that's a critical distinction. So, we have our own lanes when it comes to business during the day. And then at nights, we do have a wrap-up conversation because the word communication is so key and so big.
Yes.
But then once that communication wrap-up is done, boom, there's nothing about business until the next workday, whatever that might be.
I think that's perfect. Do you schedule out time outside of the house for dates as well? How many times do you do that? Like once a week, twice a week?
We don't have like a specific recurring date just because we have such an active social calendar. Like last night, we had 9 people over for dinner, and it kind of honestly came together pretty last minute. So we just had this wonderful evening with, 9 friends in the community came over. We had dinner, we had drinks, we had, conversations, and then it was, poof, it was gone. Like tonight, every Friday night is poker night. So I'm going to play poker with the boys. Kate's going to have her girls' night and this.
Good.
And so for us, it's kind of more of a spontaneous thing. It's just like, we got nothing going on tonight. Let's go grab dinner here. Or let's just, because, for us pretty much, and I'm not trying to sound corny, it's just really true, is that pretty much every night for us that we're here home alone, which are most nights, is date night. We're on the couch together. We're watching a Netflix show. Like we don't need to get all dressed up and go somewhere to have a date night. Like we can just have a nice quality time together alone. And then, when the parties happen, when we're hosting or someone else is hosting, then we're free to go do those things.
I love that. That's great. You give a lot of advice. What do you find is the most helpful advice for those just starting out in business that want to do an internet business?
So you have to find what I call your big idea. So many people are just saying, oh my God, I love what Rihanna's doing. I see that she's having success. I'm just going to literally copy and mimic everything that she's doing. Of course, I've had a fair share of Entrepreneurs on Fire, John Lee Dumas, and guess what? We are all standing up on the shoulders of giants. We are all learning from those who came before us. But the people who are winning in this world are people that are forging their own paths. They're learning and being educated, by these mentors that I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, they're finding their own voice. They're finding their message, their mission they want to share with the world, which again comes back to your big idea. And I'm so passionate about this. I'm like, I'm just going to create a completely free course all about this because I need people to realize that in less than an hour, if you follow this process, you will get to your big idea. So any of your listeners, viewers can just go to yourbigidea.io and take this free course, less than an hour. It's going to show you how you can take your passions, your things that you're excited about, that you're fired up about, combine it with your skills, your expertise, your knowledge, the value you can add to the world, and combine it into a zone of fire. And that zone of fire is where your big idea is. You can be excited about it every single day. There's a reason why a lot of people have launched a daily podcast interviewing entrepreneurs that have failed, because they didn't have the passion for it like I had. And they could have figured that out had they done this, and they could have found the right path for them and had a chance at success. So you've got to find your big idea. It's got to be unique. It's got to be specialized. It's got to be solving a real problem for real people. Again, it's a solution to, if that is what you have, then you've got something special. If you're excited about solving a real problem for real people, you've got it. Like, now you just go all in on that because your passion's there, because you're excited about it. It's a real problem. It's a real solution. Now you've just got to go all in and get in front of as many people as possible that it makes sense for.
I think that's wonderful. That's really great, even in podcast world or business world. And if you can join your own personal journey to it, that's your mission. That's your purpose. Something else you have gone through really makes you bring heart into that conversation and that mission, and keeps you going even when the times get a little tough. Okay, JLD, what's your last words of wisdom? What's some advice or a quote you would like to leave our listeners with?
The last words is a quote from Albert Einstein. Try not to become a person of success, but rather a person of value. So many people, Rihanna, are just doing things because they think it's going to give them success or money or fame or fortune. The reality is, it's value. It's you adding real value to the world. So
I love that.
Focus on the value that you're going to add to the world. Don't chase success. Provide real value, and you'll be off to the races.
That's wonderful. Thank you, JLD. Always, I learn something from you every time you speak. You're amazing. And I will chat with you soon. Thanks for joining us on Lessons in Life and Love. Okay, Love Angels and Transformers, that's all we have time for today. I want to thank again JLD, John Lee Dumas of Entrepreneur on Fire. That's EOFire.com. I appreciate you sharing the love and the mission of changing the way the world loves by simply sharing the show link on the favorite app of your choice to all the friends that you love and care about. And while you're there, please give us a 5-star rating and a comment, and make any note of a topic that you would like me to cover for you in the future. And remember, if you need help in any way, please reach out to me during the week on my website, riannamilne.com. And do download the free ebook at havetheloveyoudeserve.com. That's havetheloveyoudeserve.com. And as always, I am here to help you create the life that you desire and to have the love you deserve. Have a beautiful and blessed week.
We want to thank you for joining us on this episode of Lessons in Life and Love with Coach Riana Milne. Go to riannamilne.com for more resources. And if you're really ready to take action to improve your life or love situation, apply now for a session with Rihanna. And remember, it's time to have the life you desire and the love you deserve.